Trigger is our newest stun unit, but also our newest sub DPS right after Polka. With super fast aftershock attacks and crazy damage potential, she truly is a must pull for me. For your traces, focus on basic, ultimate, and special. But if you really want to save some resources, then you should really only focus on basic and ultimate. And as usual, leveling up your traces up to 6 or even 8 will be more than good enough. But before we continue, and no, it's not a sponsor, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I hate saying these same lines over and over as it feels like I'm begging, but we're almost at 1,000 subs and it would be awesome to reach that milestone. To be honest, being able to get paid for these videos that I make would be a dream come true. And sorry once again, but one final thing I wanted to say is, you should join my Discord. I'm planning to do an account review in the near future and I want you to join us. And this isn't just to talk smack about your account or glaze whales. If you are having problems with clearing sheer defense or just want to show off your builds, join the Discord and apply right now. Discord link is in the description, so please hit that like and subscribe button. Let's hit 1,000 subs and let's continue with the video. Our newest aftershock unit is actually pretty simple. When Trigger's aftershock attacks hit an enemy, she increases the target's stun damage multiplier by a percentage. By the way, this stun damage multiplier will be applied to enemies even if the target isn't stunned, which means for the entire fight, your whole team will be dealing 35% more damage. And for her team passive, for every 1% of crit rate that exceeds 40%, Trigger increases her days dealt by aftershocks by 1.5% up to a maximum of 75%. To receive the maximum bonus from this passive, Trigger's crit rate needs to be at 90%. To activate this passive, you need at least an attack character or someone of the same attribute. Trigger's basics are super simple, but there is a lot to talk about, so let's get started. When you click and hold your basic attacks, Trigger will take aim and shoot the enemy. At the same time, Trigger will gain 25 purge per shot up to a maximum of 100. When Trigger lets go of the attack button, she will do a finishing move and trigger a quick assist. When another unit hits an enemy, Trigger will consume purge to activate an aftershock attack. There are two versions that can be activated, Harmonizing Shot and Harmonizing Shot Tartarus. Harmonizing Shot will trigger every 3 seconds when a character uses the following: basic attacks, dodge counters, special attacks, dash attacks, and quick assists. And Tartarus will trigger whenever a character uses the following: EX specials, assist follow-ups, or ultimates. You'll know when you activated Tartarus when you get the fire visual cue. And before we move on to W engines, let's talk about coordinated support. When Trigger activates coordinated support, she will trigger Harmonizing Shot without consuming purge and have no cooldowns. This state lasts for 8 seconds and can trigger up to 4 times. Repeatedly entering coordinated support extends the duration and grants additional triggers. Coordinated support can be activated by the following abilities: EX Special and Ultimate. For W engines, her signature, Spectral Gaze, is her best in slot. When the wearer hits an enemy with an aftershock attack that deals electric damage, they reduce the enemy's defense by 25%. When this effect is triggered, and they are not the on-field unit, they will gain a stack of Spirit Lock up to 3 times. Each stack of Spirit Lock increases the wearer's impact by 4%, and at max tax, the wearer's impact increases by an additional 8%. For her next best, we have Ice Shade Teapot. If you're specifically using Evelyn, then Blazing Laurel is also pretty good. And then next would be the Restrained. After those 3, Box Cutter, Hellfire Gears, and Steam Oven are next. And finally, Damara Battery and 6 Shooter are last. I put these W engines in this order because Trigger's aftershock attacks are considered as basic attacks. So by equipping Trigger with basic attack focused W engines, she'll become more efficient. Oh, and one more thing. If you do pull for and acquire her signature, make sure your main DPS does not have the pen ratio main stat. This is because pen and pen ratio benefit from enemies, especially bosses, that have high defense. The more defense the boss has, the more your DPS ignores. So if you're using Nicole or Trigger's W engine, which lowers their defense, then your main DPS will ignore less defense and in turn deal less damage. For Mindscapes, her second and her final Mindscape are her power spikes. The description for these are very long, so I'm just gonna give you the gist of them. Her M1 increases her stun damage multiplier by an additional 20%, and her harmonizing shock cooldown is reduced to 2 seconds instead of 3. She also gains purge by an additional 25%, and her maximum is increased to 125 instead of 100. When Trigger does an aftershock attack with her M2, she gains a stack of Hunter's Gaze. Each stack of Hunter's Gaze increases the whole team's crit damage by 6% up to 4 times. Her M4 will trigger Disconnect whenever she hits an enemy with an aftershock attack during coordinated support. Disconnect will deal additional damage equal to 200% of her attack and inflict daze equal to 120% of her impact. And finally, for every 25 purge consumed, Trigger obtains 1 armor break round up to 5 times. Each round will deal massive damage equal to a percentage of Trigger's attacks. For the build, Trigger has 2 options, 4-piece Shadow or 4-piece Disco. Like I stated in the W Engine section, 4-piece Disco is viable because her aftershock attacks are considered as basic attacks. But depending on what type of unit you want your Trigger to be, both builds need the following substats. For subs, you want to focus on crit and attack percent. Pen is fine, but Trigger really needs that crit rate, especially if you don't have her signature. For 4 to 6, I recommend crit rate, electric damage over attack percent, and finally, impact percent. And before I forget, 2-piece Disco or 2-piece Woodpecker is your best choice, depending on your subs. For teams, Trigger is actually pretty flexible, but for the best team, you want to go Astra, Sandbee, and Trigger. Using Trigger with Sandbee is pretty much a must pick if you want Trigger at her best, as Sandbee will buff Trigger's aftershock damage with her own passive. And for any of the regular teams, you can just replace the stun unit with Trigger. A few examples are Billy and Nicole, Juyewen and Nicole, and also Astra and Evelyn. However, I don't really recommend this team as fire weak enemies are always resistant to electric damage and vice versa, but that never really stopped anyone. And that's about it. Trigger is a monster on the battlefield, and I know I say this for every character that comes out, but it's true. Let me know in the comments below on your experience with Trigger, and let's hit 1,000 subs. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Adjusting for wind.
Perfect! In my
My bullets are one with the wind.
Catch you in the next life!
Ether vision activated.
easy target! Perfect!
The target's exposed.
Leave the last one to me!
Time to wrap things up!
Feel the power of Starlight!
Recalibrating. This bullet will reach its mark.
Remember to smile!
Easy target! Perfect!
The pleasure's all yours!
Wipe them out.
Don't worry, everyone will get their share!
Adjusting for wind.
Lily, behavior is
Feel the power of starlight!
Recalibrating. They don't kill. The target's exposed.
Turns over. Fear comes from more than just the down static.
Sniper's Creed. One shot, one kill. They don't kill.
Loyalty. Now you take. You cannot stop. Now you take. What you deserve. Engaging.
Sustaining fire.
Dance, dance! Let's not disappoint our customers!
Down static. Adjusting for wind. Evasive formation. They don't kill. Dissolve. What you deserve.
Go now, child. Accept.